In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the all-important jobs report, otherwise known as non-farm payroll report, which was just released earlier today, and we're starting to see some major cracks in the system. That's the focus of this video. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. All right, so earlier this morning, we got the all-important jobs report, which is only released once per month, and it just so happened to be today. However, as we look at this report, we can start to see some major cracks in this system, and if you've been watching the videos here on the channel for a while now, you know that in my honest opinion, this is possibly one of the most important economic data points that we get on a monthly basis, and why this is so significant, and again, why I want to bring it to your attention here in this video. All right, so let me run you through some of the numbers that were just released earlier today. So this is all on the behalf of February. Now remember, obviously we're in March right now. Yes, I totally recognize that. However, these numbers are always for the previous month. So this is the non-farm or the jobs number for the month of February. It shows us a variety of factors, including how many jobs were created or lost, the unemployment rate, what is going on with labor participation, as in how many people are in the workforce, average hourly earnings, and a whole variety of other metrics. Okay, so let me walk you through some of these numbers. Okay, so in the month of February, 275,000 jobs were created. Now, this is the number that they are talking about right now. Okay, however, get this. Each month, they also show us revisions. In other words, for the previous month, how many jobs were actually lost or created, and the number is revised. So get this, in the month of January, when that number was released about a month ago in early February, the number came in at 353,000 jobs for the month of January. That looked like a really good number. However, this morning's release also shows a revision for January down over 100,000 jobs. So in other words, they cooked the number over 100,000 higher for the month of January than what it actually should have been. So they revised it down by over 100,000 jobs for the month of January. So that is not a good revision, okay? So they simply overcalculated the numbers by over 100,000. I'm not really sure how they pulled that one, but I'm not really quite sure how or where they learned math, but that's really far off. I'm sorry, but that is a huge mistake. So anyway, they revised the number down by over 100,000 for the month of January, and then again for February, it came in at 275,000 new jobs were apparently created. However, get this. In about a month from now, in early April, when we get the March number, we're going to get the revisions for February. I wouldn't be shocked to see that number come down pretty substantially for February as well, but we won't know that for about another month from now, okay? Now, here's the big key one that I want to point out for you really quickly. Going into this report, the unemployment rate was sitting at 3.7%. Now, this is a very historically low unemployment rate. However, it bumped up 0.2% in this number right here to 3.9%. So the unemployment rate right now is 3.9%. Now, don't get me wrong, that is still historically a very low number. However, the problem is it went up 0.2% on a month-over-month basis. In other words, that's a big jump in just 1 month's time. That is not a good thing, okay? So even though we can still look at it and think, hey, 275,000 jobs were created, yes, but let's look at the big picture here. Unemployment still went up 3.9%. The last time that we had numbers this high with the unemployment rate was nearly 2 years ago. That's a major problem, okay? It was way back in 2022, okay? So my point is, this is a big factor that we need to take into consideration, even though a lot of the headlines out there right now are saying, look, we have 275,000 jobs that were created in the month of February. True, based on these numbers, but the unemployment rate jumping up that much in just one report is not a good thing. Depends how you look at it though, okay? I've been saying this for a while now. We're seeing cracks emerging in this economy, and this is one of the major factors, okay? Now, why would the unemployment rate go up? Well, it simply means that a lot less people out there are obviously, accepting jobs, things like this. Businesses are laying people off. Businesses are going under. People are contracting. It's, a good thing that we need to continue watching. Now, one number does not make a trend. Obviously, we know that, right? So this one number alone is not creating a trend. However, if we see the next couple reports here ticking up with unemployment, that's going to be a major factor we need to continue watching. So this is data point number 1 over the coming months here. We'll need to continue watching that one very closely, and this may be the start of a major economic contraction or major job losses. Either way, we'll need to continue watching this. Now next, I want to point this out really quickly as well. The labor participation rate. Now this is an interesting one. This is a factor that we also get to show how many people are currently in the workforce, basically taking all of us across the entire country, basically aged 16 and over or sorry, basically 16 to 65 is what this age range is. People that are encompassed within the workforce, okay? So it's 62.5%. That's what it's at right now. So in other words, out of all the people in this country aged 16 to 65, 62.5% of people are working. The other, 37.5% of people are not employed, okay? That's not necessarily a very good factor either, okay? Now, this is a number that generally does not change all that much. It usually oscillates right around that, call it 61.5 to about 63%. But either way, it still shows a major percentage of our population not in the workforce. Again, when it comes down to a variety of factors, that's not very healthy, okay? But again, that's not a factor that changes all that often, so I wouldn't put a whole lot of weight into that, but it's either way, it's still a very interesting factor that I like to watch. Now, here's another one that we need to continue watching very closely, and this will also help the Federal Reserve decide what they're going to do with their interest rate policies, right? They've been jacking up interest rates very high over the last couple of years and holding them very high as well. It is the hourly, average hourly earnings, okay? So this one was also released today. Now that went up 0.1% on a month-over-month basis, and on a year-over-year basis, average hourly earnings is up 4.3%. Now, why do we care about that? It simply shows that people are earning a little bit more money on an hourly basis right now versus what they were a month ago, and 4.3% more right now than what they were a year ago. Why do we care? Here's why we care. Is because as these numbers continue to go up, when people make more money or earn more money, that's great. But guess what? It also drives more inflation, okay? I'm not saying it's a bad thing to earn more money. I want you to get as much money as you possibly can. Trust me. I want you to earn as much as you can. I want you to get as much as you can. I want you to save, keep, and invest. Do whatever you want. I want you to accumulate as much money as you possibly can. That's the name of the game, right? Anyway, if you don't do it, somebody else will. So I want you to get as much as you can. But my point is, when we see these numbers continue to tick up, in other words, we're earning more as a whole across the entire country for people in the workforce. That simply means that inflation is probably going to remain high or continue driving higher. Is that a good thing? Not really. Depends how you look at it, right? It simply means that the Federal Reserve is likely going to keep interest rates probably very high and probably not keep them or start bringing them down anytime soon. And we've even heard that out of commentary out of the Federal Reserve and the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, as of recently. So my point is, it's a good report, depends how you look at it, but there are some factors within this that we certainly cannot dismiss. We need to look at it and think, hey, that's a little bit alarming. We'll need to continue watching them going forward. Now, here's the thing as well. One last note here, and I'm going to let you go, which is this. If you've been watching the videos here on the channel for a while now, you've heard me say, if we enter into a recession, if we have major job losses, if we see the unemployment rate go up substantially over the coming months here in 2024, if we see these numbers continue to go up, the likelihood of stimulus checks goes up and up and up. I know a lot of you here in the community want to know, are we going to get another check at some point? Here's what I can tell you. If we see the unemployment rate ticking up more and more and more, and if that number gets pretty high, the likelihood of stimulus checks gets greater and greater and greater the higher that number goes. It went up 0.2% on a month-over-month basis, from 3.7 to 3.9. I know that's still very low. I know that's not much, but it's the start, okay? That's why we need to continue watching this. So over the coming months here, we'll need to continue watching all these numbers, and as we get more details on this, and if that number continues to go higher, if it hits 4%, 4.1, 4.2, 4.5, if we start bumping 5%, that's going to be really ugly for this economy. Just saying, okay? We're not that far away. Anyway, I'll keep you posted on this. I hope this helps you out. I'm here for you in any way that I can be. If you have not done so, please subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Share the video with your friends on social media. And as always, go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel in the video library, or those that I've hand selected for you down below in the description or at the top of the comment section. Or as always, check out any of the videos you see on your screen right now. Watch those videos, and I'll catch you again later in the next video. I'll see you for now. Have a nice day, and